Welcome to the official podcast series by POTENZA, where innovation meets insight. In this series, we dive deep into the world of SAP, explore the power of robotic process automation, and unlock the true potential of data analytics. Whether you're a tech enthusiast, a business leader, or just curious about the digital transformation shaping our world, you're in the right place. Tune in, stay curious, and let's explore the future of enterprise technology together. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on YouTube for more powerful insights. Now, let's get into today's episode.
Have you ever felt just swamped by scattered information, like you're trying to piece together a clear picture, but the data, it's all over the place, it's inconsistent, and frankly unreliable? It's a common feeling, I think, whether you're managing a small business or, a massive enterprise. But what if there was this powerful idea, a single source of truth that could kind of cut through all that noise and really transform how you operate? Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into the world of master data management, or MDM as you'll hear it called. Our mission, it's to unpack the 5 essential factors that really determine the success or failure of an MDM deployment. We're drawing insights from a guide called The 5 Pillars of Master Data Management Success. Think of this deep dive as, well, your shortcut to understanding how leading organizations get that consistent, accurate, and truly reliable data across all their systems. And it's more than just tidy data, right? It's about leading to better decisions, gaining a real competitive edge, all without getting completely bogged down in overwhelming detail. So let's try and unravel this together. Okay, so to start us off, what exactly is master data management? When I was looking through our sources, it sounded like this really comprehensive methodology. It's about identifying, cleansing, matching, consolidating, governing all that critical data like customer info, product catalogs, supplier databases. The core idea seems to be that these MDM platforms act as the authoritative source for this master data, making sure everything's consistent across all the different company apps. But why is that so fundamental?
Well, what's truly fascinating here is that the core principle of MDM, it really is about establishing that single version of truth. I mean, I mentioned your customer's address being different in your sales system and then different again in billing and again in shipping. It's chaos, right? MDM aims to eliminate those data silos and inconsistencies. It gives you a reliable data foundation for accurate analytics, for reporting, for just smooth operations. In today's world, data is just incredibly complex. It's interconnected. It's everywhere. MDM directly tackles that challenge of scattered information by creating centralized governance and control. And the benefits, they're actually pretty significant, sometimes even kind of hidden. I mean, improved data accuracy, that's the obvious one. But organizations implementing MDM systems, they typically see something quite remarkable. Our source notes a specific 15 to 25% reduction in operational costs just from data errors.
Wow, 15 to 25%.
Yeah. Duplicate processing, manual fixes, all that stuff. That's not just a number, It fundamentally changes a company's financial health. They can invest in growth instead of constantly fixing errors. And beyond that, it enhances customer experiences. Consistent info helps there. It improves regulatory compliance. Think of GDPR in Europe or CCPA in California. And strategically, it truly leads to increased revenue, reduced risk, and genuinely better decision-making capabilities.
That 15-25% cost reduction, that's a really powerful figure. Okay, so when we talk MDM, we're dealing with these core things called master data entities, like customers, products, suppliers, locations, even employees.
Exactly, those core nouns of the business.
And then there's this crucial concept you mentioned, data stewardship. It sounds like it's about assigning clear responsibility for data quality. Is that basically it?
Precisely. Data stewardship is all about assigning that clear responsibility for data quality, for governance, to specific people or teams. It's really about ownership.
Yeah.
Because, without clear accountability, even the best systems can just degrade over time. Data gets messy again.
Okay, that makes sense. One area that immediately jumped out at me in the guide was the huge emphasis on strategic planning. This isn't just like flipping a switch on some software, is it? It sounds like the groundwork is absolutely critical.
Oh, it's foundational. Totally. The success of, any MDM initiative really starts with a comprehensive assessment of how you're managing data right now. This means evaluating your existing systems, your data quality levels or lack thereof, and how master data actually flows through the whole enterprise. The guide even suggests doing a thorough data landscape mapping exercise that involves analyzing data volume, checking quality metrics, understanding integration complexity, all designed to really reveal where the inconsistencies and duplicates are hiding. This kind of profiling helps set realistic timelines and figure out the resources you'll need.
So how do organizations make sure MDM isn't just seen as another IT project? How do they get that buy-in, make it a genuine strategic business initiative from the top down?
Ah, that's a critical distinction. And honestly, a common pitfall. It really involves aligning the MDM goals directly with the bigger business objectives. Organizations have got to clearly articulate how MDM capabilities will support specific outcomes. Is it revenue growth, cost reduction, better compliance? The business case for investing in ADM, it should always try to quantify those expected benefits using clear KPIs, key performance indicators. And this needs deep collaboration. IT, business stakeholders, executive sponsors, right from the very beginning. Identifying the right stakeholders and defining their roles is also vital. You absolutely need executive sponsors for the strategic direction, for signing off on resources, business users. They bring the domain expertise, the operational requirements. What do they actually need the data for? Data stewards are, well, they're absolutely critical. We mentioned them before. They're the subject matter experts who set up the governance policies. They resolve data quality problems, ensure ongoing compliance. And of course, you need the IT teams for the technical side, the implementation, the maintenance. Then you've got to develop a comprehensive MDM roadmap.
This roadmap lays out clear phases, milestones, success criteria. Often, a phase-based approach works best. It lets organizations see value incrementally while managing the complexity. You might start with customer or product data first, learn from that, then expand.
Right, crawl, walk, run. And what about the practicalities, the investment? This sounds like a pretty significant undertaking, not just a small line item on a budget.
It truly is. MDM implementation projects, they require significant investment across technology, professional services, internal resources. Budget planning has to account for software licenses, hardware maybe, implementation services, training, ongoing maintenance, often spread over several years, it's not a quick fix, and resource allocation. You need dedicated project teams, and you absolutely need robust change management efforts. That's key to ensure user adoption and transforming processes, which, as we'll probably get into, is often the hardest part.
Okay, so once that meticulous planning is done, how do you actually, go about building the system? I imagine there are different ways to structure an MDM solution, different architectural choices.
You're right, there are. And choosing the right MDM model, it significantly impacts how complex the implementation is and the long-term maintenance. For example, there's the consolidation model. This creates a single centralized place for the master data. Think of it like trying to get all your family photos into one master album. It's a huge upfront effort, right? Scanning, organizing. But once it's done, you have one definitive authoritative source. The payoff in central control can be huge, but yeah, the migration itself can be a beast.
Okay, what else?
Then there's a registry-based model. Here, the master data actually stays in the original source systems, but you have centralized indexes that let you identify the same entity across different systems. This reduces the migration headache because you're not moving all the data. But it might limit how much centralized governance you can really enforce.
I see. Less control, maybe.
Potentially, yeah. And finally, you have coexistence models. These allow data to live in multiple systems, but they're kept in sync using synchronization tools, either real-time or maybe batch processing. This gives you flexibility, but it demands really robust synchronization mechanisms to keep everything aligned.
Okay, so you pick a model. Once you've done that, how do organizations keep the data quality up and stay compliant throughout the entire MDM lifecycle, not just at the start? It sounds like a constant effort.
It absolutely is. It's not a one-off task.
Yeah.
That's where strong data governance and stewardship really come into play continuously. You need to establish the policies, the procedures, the organizational structures to continually maintain data quality and compliance. And data stewards are essential here. They're the people assigned responsibility for specific master data domains like customer data or product data. They're tasked with resolving issues, managing exceptions, making sure everyone follows the governance policies. They're basically the guardians of your data's integrity day in, day out.
Guardians, I like that. And how does this MDM system fit into the existing tech landscape? It can't just operate in a vacuum, can it? It needs to connect with everything else.
It definitely can. Seamless integration with existing enterprise applications, with existing workflows, it's crucial. This means using flexible integration patterns, things like API-based approaches, application programming interfaces, which let different software talk to each other easily, and maybe service-oriented architecture or SOA. These allow for real-time synchronization, batch processing, robust exception handling. This kind of loose coupling helps the system evolve over time and reduces maintenance complexity down the road.
What about the technology tools themselves? How do you even go about selecting those for such a critical role?
Well, the technology and tools for MDM implementation, they're usually selected based on a few key things. Functional capabilities. What can it actually do? Technical architecture? Scalability? Can it grow with you? and, of course, vendor support. These platforms offer capabilities like data integration, quality management, sophisticated matching algorithms to find duplicates, workflow engines to manage processes. Organizations also have to consider deployment options. Cloud-based. That offers scalability, potentially reduced overhead. On-premises gives you more control, maybe more customization. Or hybrid approaches, kind of mixing the best of both. This raises an important question, though. How do you manage the human element of all this change? Because MDM implementations, they typically involve pretty significant shifts in business processes and user workflows, and that can be really disruptive for people.
Yeah, the people side is always tricky, isn't it?
It really is. That's why change management best practices are so important. Organizations need to seriously address user training needs. They might need to redesign processes and definitely manage the cultural shifts needed for user adoption. Communication strategies have to emphasize the business value of MDM while giving clear guidance on new roles, new procedures. It's all about bringing people along on the journey, right? Not just imposing a new system on them.
Right, makes sense. Now, data quality, it's mentioned everywhere in the sources. It seems fundamental. But what does it actually involve when you're implementing MDM? It sounds like more than just a quick cleanup before you start.
Oh, it's far more involved than just a quick cleanup, absolutely. It really starts with assessing and then improving data quality. You establish baseline measurements across different dimensions, like how complete is the data, how accurate, how consistent is it across systems, how timely. One thing the guide pointed out, which I thought was really clever, was using data quality scorecards.
Scorecards?
Yeah. These provide ongoing visibility into the health of your master data. They track quality trends over time, highlight any emerging issues, and ultimately they help demonstrate the business impact of the MDM investments. It's about continuous vigilance, not just a one-time fix.
Okay, so once you've identified problems using those scorecards or other methods, how do you actually clean the dirty data? Are we talking just fixing typos, or is it more sophisticated than that?
It definitely goes well beyond just typos. Data cleansing techniques involve pretty rigorous processes, removing inconsistencies, correcting errors, standardizing formats. This includes things like standardization routines for addresses, making sure street is always sane, or handling variations in names. And for the more complex issues, advanced cleansing techniques can even use machine learning algorithms. These can identify and correct problems automatically, which significantly reduces the manual effort. Imagine you have 1 million customer records, and maybe thousands have slight variations in spelling for the same name or city. Machine learning can spot those patterns and resolve them at scale.
Wow, okay, so machine learning is playing a role even in the cleaning part. Now, once you have all that lovely clean data, how do you get it into the new MDM system without causing a complete disaster? That sounds like a potential minefield.
It certainly can be if you're not careful. That's why mapping and transforming data for migration is absolutely critical. You have to establish the relationships between the data elements in your old source systems and the structures in the new target MDM platform. Make sure all the required information is captured and, importantly, transformed appropriately. This often includes applying quite complex transformation logic, things like calculations, lookups against reference tables, conditional logic like if this, then that, and for the data migration itself to succeed. Strategies usually include using phased approaches to minimize disruption, maybe migrate one region or one product line first. Conducting pilot migrations is also key. Test your procedures, refine the process on a smaller scale before the big bang. And it's vital, absolutely vital, to include rollback procedures, what happens if it goes wrong, and clear data validation checkpoints along the way. You need a parachute, and you need a clear flight path.
Gotcha. Parachute mandatory. And how do you verify everything actually transferred correctly, that it's truly accurate in its new home? What's the final check?
Well, that comes down to comprehensive testing and validation of the migrated data. This involves really rigorous protocols, checking for data completeness, did everything make it over, validating accuracy, is it correct, and integration testing, does it work properly with all the connected applications. These validation processes usually need a mix of automated testing scripts and manual verification, especially for critical data points. And crucially, you need user acceptance testing, or UAT. Real users have to test it to ensure the system functionality actually meets their operational requirements, and maybe more importantly, that they trust the data in the new system.
Right. Trust is huge. Okay. So it sounds like an MDM system isn't a one-and-done project at all, is it? It seems like it needs constant attention, constant feeding to continue delivering value long after the initial setup.
You're absolutely right. It's definitely an ongoing journey. You could almost think of it like a living organism within the business. It needs care and feeding. This involves establishing clear KPIs, those key performance indicators, again, to measure MDM success over time. And these aren't just technical metrics like, completeness rates or 98%. They must include business-focused KPIs, things like our customer satisfaction score is improving, our operational costs related to data errors going down. Can we attribute revenue growth directly to having better data? These objective measurements help justify the continued investment and really demonstrate the value being created for the business. Furthermore, regular audits and data quality assessments are essential. These ongoing programs help identify emerging issues before they become big problems, and they help optimize the system's performance over time. Audit findings provide really valuable feedback for refining your governance practices, tweaking system configurations, making sure the system stays efficient and relevant.
So how do organizations keep the MDM solution aligned with what the business needs now, not just what it needed on day one? Because businesses are constantly changing, right? New products, new markets, new regulations.
That's a great point. And that's where robust feedback mechanisms for stakeholders come in. You need ways to capture user experiences, maybe through surveys, focus groups, even looking at usage analytics to identify opportunities for improvement. This ensures the MDM solution keeps meeting those evolving business requirements. And this feedback loop needs to be comprehensive, making sure enhancement priorities reflect the diverse needs across different departments and different user roles. Also, organizations just have to be ready to adapt to changing business needs. MDM platforms need to evolve, maybe need to accommodate new data sources or new regulatory obligations come along. Often, using agile development approaches can help respond quickly to these changing requirements while still maintaining stability and data integrity.
Okay, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, how do you actually future-proof an MDM solution so it doesn't become, obsolete in just a few years, given how fast technology moves?
Yeah, that's a key consideration. Scalability and future-proofing MDM solutions are crucial. This means, first, ensuring the system can handle future growth, more data volumes, more users, without needing major architectural changes. It also involves keeping an eye on and potentially incorporating emerging technologies, things like artificial intelligence and machine learning, which can further enhance MDM capabilities. We touched on that with cleansing, and just generally aligning with your technology vendors' roadmaps, understanding where they're going, helps you stay ahead of the curve. It really is about building for tomorrow, not just solving today's problems.
Okay, let's maybe dig a bit deeper into the actual decision-making around the MDM technology itself. What goes into evaluating those platform options? There must be a ton of vendors out there vying for business.
There are indeed a lot of choices. Evaluating MDM platform options really requires a comprehensive assessment. You look at functional capabilities. Does it do what we need? Technical architecture. How is it built? Does it fit our environment? Industry expertise. Does the vendor understand our specific sector? And crucially, the total cost of ownership, or TCO. That's not just the software license cost up front. It includes implementation services, training, ongoing maintenance, the whole package over several years.
Right, the hidden costs.
Exactly. And reference customer interviews are pretty much indispensable. Talking to other companies who've actually implemented that specific platform give you real-world insights into the vendor's capabilities, their support quality, things you won't find in a sales brochure.
Makes sense. How do these modern MDM systems actually talk to everything else in the organization? They need to be incredibly well connected to be truly effective, don't they?
They absolutely do. The integration architecture and patterns used are designed for exactly that. They need to support different communication styles, real-time synchronization for immediate updates, batch processing for large volumes, perhaps overnight, and event-driven communication where a change triggers an update elsewhere. Often, an API-first design approach is leveraged. This means the system is built with connectivity in mind, making it easier to integrate with other applications. And things like event streaming platforms provide scalable ways to distribute master data changes across all your enterprise systems in real time. This supports business processes that need immediate data updates. Like, imagine a customer updates their address online. That change needs to be reflected across your sales, shipping, billing systems instantly. Right? That's the architectures enable.
Got it. Okay, the big question many organizations wrestle with, cloud versus on-premises. What are the key trade-offs people really need to weigh up here?
Yeah, that's always a major decision point. Cloud-based MDM deployment offers some significant advantages, usually reduced infrastructure costs so you don't need to buy and manage servers. Automatic scaling, it can handle peaks in demand. And often immediate access to advanced services like machine learning and analytics tools provided by the cloud vendor. Software as a service, or SaaS, models can eliminate a lot of the infrastructure management headaches. On the other hand, on-premises deployments give you greater control over security configurations, over customization. This can be critical for certain industries with very specific regulations or security needs.
Right, like finance or healthcare maybe?
Potentially, yes. And then hybrid approaches are becoming more common too, trying to combine the benefits of both. Maybe keep some sensitive data on-prem, but leverage cloud for other aspects. It offers flexibility depending on specific constraints and maybe existing legacy systems. But critically, whichever model you choose, security and compliance considerations have to be paramount right from day one. This includes things like robust data encryption, both at rest and in transit, strict access controls, who can see what data, comprehensive audit logging, who did what, when, and privacy protection features to meet those frameworks like GDPR or CCPA we mentioned earlier. Implementing a comprehensive security framework from day one, that's actually a pro tip from our source material. It means thinking about data classification, encryption, role-based access, regular security audits, all designed to protect that sensitive master data throughout its entire lifecycle.
Absolutely crucial. Okay, so let's bring this down to earth a bit. What does this all mean in the real world? Can you share some examples, maybe some success stories where these factors have truly made a difference in different industries?
Absolutely. We see great examples across various sectors. In financial services, for instance, MDM implementations have successfully consolidated customer information that was previously scattered across multiple business lines, like banking, investments, insurance. This has led to vastly improved customer experiences because the bank actually knows who you are consistently. It's also enhanced regulatory reporting and significantly reduced operational risk through better data governance.
Okay, finance makes sense. What about retail?
In retail, it's huge. Organizations leverage MDM to maintain consistent product information across all their channels. E-commerce website, mobile apps, physical stores. This enables those seamless omni-channel experiences customers now expect. And it supports managing complex product hierarchies and pricing. Imagine seeing the same product details and price whether you're looking online or standing in the store. MDM powers that consistency.
Right, that avoids a lot of customer frustration.
Definitely. And in healthcare, MDM is used to create unified patient records. Often, patient data is fragmented across different hospitals, clinics, labs. MDM helps create a single, trusted view of the patient, spanning multiple care providers. This is absolutely critical for improving patient safety, enabling things like population health analytics, and supporting value-based care initiatives. The impact across the board can be really profound.
It sounds incredibly beneficial when it works, but let's be real. What are the common pitfalls? What trips organizations up when they try to implement MDM, and how are they actually overcoming these hurdles? Because no big project is ever perfect.
You're absolutely right. There are always challenges. I'd say the most common challenge by far is dealing with existing data quality issues. It often requires a much more significant upfront investment in cleansing and standardization than people initially estimate. How do they overcome it? By allocating adequate time and resources before they start the main implementation. Viewing data quality improvement as a necessary investment, not just a cost center.
Okay, so tackle data quality head on. What else?
Another major hurdle is often organizational resistance to change. People get used to their old ways of working, even if they're inefficient. This is best overcome with those comprehensive change management programs we talked about. Early stakeholder engagement is key. Get people involved, clearly communicate the benefits, what's in it for them, and provide thorough training. And finally, technical integration complexity often exceeds initial estimates, especially if you have a really diverse landscape of old and new systems.
Right, connecting everything is harder than it looks.
It often is. Phased implementation approaches are really key here. They help manage that complexity, deliver incremental value, which builds confidence, and prove the concept as you go. So I guess the key takeaways from successful MDM projects are pretty clear. You need sustained executive sponsorship, someone at the top championing it. You need adequate resource allocation time, money, people, and you need realistic multi-year timelines. And user adoption is absolutely critical. Organizations must invest in training and potentially redesigning processes to ensure users actually embrace the new capabilities and see them as helpful, not just another system they're forced to use.
Looking ahead then, what's next for MDM? How are these solutions evolving to meet the demands of what seems like an even more data-rich, data-complex future?
Yeah, we're definitely seeing some exciting, innovative approaches and future trends emerging. Artificial intelligence and machine learning, AML, are increasingly transforming MDM capabilities. Things like automated data matching and merging, automated quality assessment, even suggesting governance rules. This significantly reduces manual effort and improves accuracy even further.
So AI is becoming a core part.
Increasingly, yes. Also, real-time MDM implementations are growing, enabling that immediate propagation of master data changes across the enterprise, often supported by those event-driven architectures we mentioned. Cloud-native MDM platforms are rapidly becoming the preferred deployment model for many. They offer that greater scalability, flexibility, and easier access to advanced cloud services. And finally, we're seeing much tighter integration between MDM systems and data lakes or analytics platforms. This really expands MDM's value proposition beyond just operational efficiency into strategic analytics. Think deeper customer insights, predictive modeling, using that trusted master data as the foundation.
Fascinating stuff. So there you have it, the 5 essential factors, the pillars for MDM success. Strategic planning, having a robust implementation framework, meticulous focus on data quality, proactive monitoring and continuous improvement, and finally, informed technology selection and integration.
It's true that the journey towards master data excellence, it's complex, it can be challenging, no doubt about it. However, as we've hopefully explored today, MDM really is a fundamental business transformation. It's not just a technology initiative tucked away in IT. It is, I would argue, absolutely essential for gaining and maintaining a competitive advantage in today's data-driven world. It enables that consistent, accurate, reliable data that drives real business outcomes and helps organizations truly thrive.
So maybe as you go about your day, perhaps thinking about your own organization's data, maybe even just your personal data, your sprawling contact list, your various digital subscriptions, how might even a microscale single version of truth benefit you? What small piece of data could you start with, perhaps, to bring a little more consistency and clarity to your world?
That's a wrap for today's episode of the POTENZA podcast series, where we decode SAP, automate with RPA, and analyze with precision. We hope you found today's conversation insightful and inspiring. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and stay tuned for more deep dives into the technologies transforming tomorrow's enterprise. Got questions or ideas for a future episode? Drop them in the comments, we'd love to hear from you. Until next time. Thank you.